Washington, D.C., August 22, 2025. A line of FBI agents files out of John Bolton's downtown office, boxes and hard cases in hand. The images are stark, the timing remarkable, and the questions immediate. This raid follows an earlier search at Bolton's home in Bethesda, Maryland, only hours ago. 2 locations, one day, signaling a high-priority operation that required planning, resources, and a judge's sign-off. John Bolton is not just any Washington insider. He's a former national security advisor and one of President Donald Trump's most outspoken critics since departing the administration in 2019. He built a reputation as a hardliner on Iran and North Korea, served in senior national security roles across administrations, and later published a memoir sharply critical of the president he once served. By procedure, federal agents don't stage raids casually. Search warrants require probable cause, sworn affidavits, and judicial approval. Those documents often remain sealed while investigators work. Tonight, the Justice Department isn't commenting on specifics, standard practice in active cases. The FBI, too, is silent on what evidence it sought or what led agents to these addresses today. On the sidewalk outside Bolton's office, the visuals tell their own story. Agents loading boxes into unmarked vehicles, a doorway watched by cameras, and a building suddenly transformed into a crime scene backdrop. At the White House, reporters pressed President Trump for a reaction. He said he learned about the raid from television coverage and expected a Justice Department briefing later in the day. That comment underscores the sensitivity. The DOJ is designed to operate at arm's length from the West Wing, especially on investigative decisions that touch political allies or critics. On Capitol Hill, fault lines appeared quickly. Trump allies framed the raid as overreach. Democrats countered that no one is above the law. Both sides are talking without seeing the warrant. Without the affidavit or inventory, the public knows what the cameras captured, and not much more. That gap is where speculation thrives and where responsible reporting resists going further. For Bolton, the optics are unmistakable. A one-time senior official, now a high-profile critic, at the center of a federal operation whose implications stretch beyond any hallway in this office building. What could agents be looking for? In cases like this, investigators might pursue documents, electronic devices, communications, or business records. But until filings are unsealed, that remains unknown. Bolton's post-White House years have kept him in the headlines. Frequent interviews, sharp commentary on Russia and Ukraine, and policy critiques that cut against the former president's narrative. He has also run a consulting operation, like many former officials. That's not unusual in Washington. The legal line, however, can hinge on disclosure, classification, and compliance, details we don't yet have. Today's scenes revive an old Washington tension, the intersection of law enforcement and politics. The norms here depend on independence, process, and paper. The warrant, the inventory, the filings. For viewers, the next hard facts are likely to come from court dockets, a receipt of seized items, a judge's order, or a motion to unseal. Sometimes those arrive quickly, sometimes they don't. In the meantime, the footage is unambiguous. Agents in and out, boxes stacked, vehicles pulling away. The office facade, glass, concrete, insignia, becomes part of the day's public record. This is also a stress test of trust. Trust in the warrants process, trust in the investigators to follow the facts, and trust in the press to distinguish between what's confirmed and what's conjecture. History offers parallels, high-stakes searches involving former officials and sensitive materials. But each case turns on its own evidence. The similarities make headlines. The specifics make law. We should be clear about what we don't know: the alleged offence, the scope of the warrant, and whether today's actions tie to Bolton's book, his commentary, his consultancy, or something else entirely. We do know this: 2 coordinated searches on the same day indicate a cohesive plan. Investigators often move in tandem to secure records before word spreads and data can be moved or deleted. As night falls over Washington, the building returns to quiet, but the story does not. Phones are ringing, lawyers are reading, and somewhere a case file just got a lot thicker. The questions now: what did agents take? What will a judge allow the public to see? And what will John Bolton say when he speaks? Until then, the images stand and the investigation continues.